How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another Dead Wax Records video. Today, I'm back in town after an 11-day trip to St. Catharines, Canada, which is where I'm from. I went up there to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest in Toronto. That show was absolutely killer. But I picked up a lot of stuff. I'm repping some merch from one of the record stores I go to up there, Mind Bomb Records. If you're ever in the St. Catharines area, check it out. We got about 20 records to go through, about 30 CDs to run through, so without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so we're going to do the records first, and the first record that's in the stack is Megadeth's Rust in Peace classic thrash album. This, to me, is Megadeth right here. The first 5 Megadeth records are really killer stuff. If you haven't checked this record out, do yourself a favor and go check it out. Doesn't get any more Megadeth than that. Okay, and of course, because I saw Judas Priest, I had to pick up a Priest record while I was up there. I didn't have this in the collection yet. This is Painkiller. Probably my favorite Judas Priest album, especially the title track Painkiller, where it starts off with the drums. Have a huge Jimi Hendrix collection, but surprisingly, do not have this record in there yet. This is Axis as Bold as Love. Little Wing is one of my favorite Jimi Hendrix songs, and this is the all-analog remaster from the original 2-track master tapes by Jimmy's original engineer. Complete original artwork, 8-page LP-size booklet with rare photos and liner notes. So I had to pick that up, of course. I was perusing the sale bin at Mind Bomb Records, actually. And this had a $25 price tag on it, which is not bad. This is Gwar Scumdogs Live. They do most of the Scumdogs album live, and it's 2 LPs for $25, so you really can't beat it. Scumdogs is my favorite Gwar album. Highly recommended. It's a pretty funny album. And I kept seeing this record out and about, and it's actually funny because at the end of this video I'll include some clips that I have, but I actually bought this from Toys R Us, as in a couple records that are in here came from Toys R Us. Toys R Us is still open in Canada, and they have a massive, and I mean massive, vinyl area, and the prices in Canada are a little high, but I picked this up because I kept seeing it. So it's a classic Cure album. I had to pick this up because this was reasonably priced. This is Ghost's Pop Star EP. This has Square Hammer on it, but I'm trying to beef up the Ghost record collection, so I had to pull the trigger on it when I saw it. Here's another classic album that I don't have in my collection that everybody keeps raving and ranting about. Talking Heads 77. Just had to pick it up because, let me tell you, this is something I've been missing out on. Obviously, Psycho Killer's on here, such a classic song. Had to get that on vinyl. And of course, had to pick this up. This just got issued on vinyl for the first time. Ozzy Osbourne Scream. This is the double LP. This is one of my favorite Ozzy records, believe it or not. Just the overall sound of it's really, really good. Really Ozzy. I'm very, very late to this train. I actually remember when this first came out, and I'm just now buying it. This is the Pink Floyd Animals 2018 mix. I've got the... they did a remaster a while back in the early 2000s of Animals, and so I have that, but now I have this because I really want to hear it, and I believe it comes with a booklet. If not, maybe it's just heavy, but oh yep, giant booklet in there, so had to pick this up. Alright, now I've got pretty good sized David Bowie collection, but I'm always beefing up the Bowie collection, and I surprisingly didn't have this one yet. This is Heroes by David Bowie. Such a classic album. You know, Heroes, the song Heroes on here is just spectacular, so had to pull the trigger on that. And then something that kind of flew under my radar is this release. This is David Bowie Divine Symmetry. This is basically an alternative hunky-dory. They've got alternative tracks and stuff like that. So when I saw that, Hunky Dory being my favorite record of his, I had to pull the trigger on this when I saw the track listing on it and read some reviews on it. And of course, while I was up in Canada, one of the new releases that came out when I first got there, I think this came out the day 2 or 3 days before I actually went up there, but I figured I'd pick it up. This is Led Zeppelin Live EP. This has all the stuff from Physical Graffiti that they did on, God, what's the name of the Chem's work? All right, moving along to the used vinyl that I picked up. There's not that much, but I was out and about and went to a record store that only sells used vinyl. So of course, you know, I was going up there to see Alice Cooper, so beefing up the Cooper collection. Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. I've honestly never heard this record. So I'm excited to throw it on the turntable before I change out needles, because this copy is has some slight wear to it. Doesn't look like it, but there are little nicks and dings on there. So $8 for that, not bad at all. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Elton John fan, and this was $5, and honestly, it's one of his worst albums, but I'm trying to get all of the albums that he's ever put out, and this brings me one step closer, so I had to pick that up. This I bought from another record place downtown. It did not come from this place on here. This is just a sleeve that they put on it, but this is Paul McCartney Press Play. I'm actually seeing Paul McCartney at the end of the month, so I had to pick that up. Super good shape on that. And this I had ordered, and then it got shipped there from a Canadian seller that I know. But I picked this up because I'm trying to fill in the Paul McCartney collection. Paul McCartney, give my regards to Broad Street. It's from the movie that he did, so had to pick that up. And the last piece of vinyl from the trip, this came from my grandparents' neighbor's house. I don't know, I went and dug through the records and pulled out a lot of Johnny Cash and Elvis that they're going to ship to me, but I had to bring this one home with it being October. I found this in their box there, Monster Mash Sounds of Terror, so I thought, you know what, I have got to bring this home to play it, and I'm going to play it today and see what it's all about. Okay, so that's it for the vinyl. We're going to get into the CDs next, and there's a crap ton of CDs here, so I'm just grabbing, it's in no particular order. This is just how I had them stacked in the case. This is Slipknot's The Subliminal Verses. I always forget the name of this album, but this is the double disc edition that has 8 tracks, bonus and stuff like that on the second disc, so I thought I had to pick that up. Then I got some here from the Canadian seller that sold me that Paul McCartney record. He sold me a couple bootleg CDs. Kiss Cruise 2. This is 2 CDs worth of a live performance that Kiss did on their second Kiss Cruise. Features some deep cuts, but not a whole lot of deep cuts there. Then he sold me a regular, well, this says import on it, but I'm not sure if there's any notable differences. This is the UK copy of Iron Maiden's The X Factor, so I'm going to have to see if the track listings are different or something. And real quick, just because I'm on the topic of what he sold me, this is the last thing he sold me. The Beatles Alternate Revolver. It's a bootleg of 30 different tracks from the Revolver time period. So that should be cool. This, they just had Classic Yes compilation there. I picked up some more Bowie, Young Americans, one of the most classic David Bowie albums. Had to jump on the Megadeth train, keeping the Megadeth stuff here. This is their latest album. They're putting out a new one, which is their final one coming out, but this is another one to fill in some gaps there. Okay, these are cool. These are 3 that are go together, basically, but these are 3 Ramones CDs with special slipcases, cardboard slipcases, that also feature a lot of unreleased bonus material. So Too Tough to Die has a bunch of demos and stuff that's never been released before. The Ramones album has a bunch of demos also on it, and then the Rocket to Russia has some early versions and alternate mixes on it, as well as the full album, so that was cool. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a friggin' deadhead when it comes to Grateful Dead, obviously. This is their double disc, the best of the Grateful Dead live. Now let me tell you why I bought this. Really only for about 3 songs that I really love. Friend of the Devil, Touch of Grey, Truckin', and Estimated Profit. So 4 songs that really caught my attention, and I thought, man, if it's on the best of comp from 77 and stuff from the vault, Estimated Profit live is so good. I said I had to pick up some Grateful Dead while I was up there, so that I did. And then I went on this big Joni Mitchell kick on my way up to Canada, so I picked up this. I can never pronounce this correctly, so I'm not going to try to, but it's probably one of her best albums. Moving on to the second stack here, we have Simon & Garfunkel Bridge Over Troubled Water that I found at a Walmart up there, so I had to pick that up. This another Joni Mitchell here. This is an album I have not heard, but Both Sides Now is what it's called. I don't know how it sounds or anything, but for $13, you can't beat it. Got this from a secondhand store here, Firehouse. Classic stuff on here like Shake and Tumble. Some more secondhand stuff here, Def Leppard, On Through the Night. You know, such a rock brigade, you know, great stuff on that. Really killer Sabbath album. Their last album, they put out 13. Really love it. This is not the bonus tracks edition. This is just a standard edition, which I'm kicking myself for not getting, but this is a really good album if you haven't heard it. And then I think all the rest of it's brand new stuff. Just some of this is out of the shrink because I listened to it up there. Did not have this on CD yet, but Black Sabbath Volume 4. Great Sabbath record. Had to, of course, pick up some Alice Cooper, since I was up there to see him. Detroit Stories, his second to last album he put out. This released while I was up there. Buckingham Nicks, first time on CD and first time vinyl repress. And this is really good. If you haven't heard it, I'd recommend it. I remember this came out last year while I was up there, and I couldn't find it for the life of me anywhere, and I found it this year at Mindbomb Records. This is Poppy's Negative Spaces. She does like metal. She's like a metal artist, a pop artist, you know. Again, some more Alice Cooper from the inside. It's actually kind of interesting because Elton John's lyricist Bernie Taupin wrote the music for this album. Picked up Misfits collection, just a compilation here of Misfits stuff. Been meaning to get something by the Misfits. This came out for Record Store Day this past year. I bought it on vinyl. And then I got the CD copy while I was up there because it features an extra song, and I'm not exactly sure what that extra song is, but I have it on CD because it's such a good live album. Here's a classic here, Rat, Out of the Cellar. Surprisingly, we didn't have it yet. And the last thing here is Megadeth, Cryptic Writings. Pretty good. Alright, so that's everything I picked up there on my trip to Canada. I'm going to include some footage of me up there at the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. In the Toys R Us. Records in the Toys R Us.